is exactly Tanaka's condition, and what do you look at for tomorrow?
Yeah, just both hamstrings tightened up on him. So not sure of the severity of it, really, if it's cramps or whatever. We got an IV in him when he came out of the game, and it's just kind of one of those that we'll evaluate tomorrow and see where he's at.
Was it directly related to the sprint home from third?
That's when he felt it grab a little bit in both hammies.
Do you worry about these pitchers running the bases in National League ballparks?
Yeah, that's fair.
And Chapman, when you guys came out in the ninth, what happened there?
Nothing. He's got a little quad knee tendonitis that he deals with on and off. Doesn't affect him throwing. Some nights it's a little harder for him to move around is all, but not a big deal.
Kenny?
Just how satisfying is to see old man Gardner get the big hit there after a rough start to the season?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he means so much to our team, kind of the heartbeat, just what he brings every day. And, just game plan wise today, really, really on it. And obviously came up in a big spot there and snuck one out of there. But just really just quality at bats all the time. And for the better part of a month now, the results have followed those quality at bats. But he's a savage for us up at the top.
All the way to the left.
I know he stayed in the game, but what happened with Judge in the first inning?
Yeah, jammed his thumb on that slide. So obviously, that caught our attention. And, anytime you see Judge, because he's not dramatic at all, and you see him reacting there for a second, just kind of hold our breath. But checked out all right, went up in the cage in between and, hit and was okay. And, said he was good to go. And strength-wise in that thumb and everything was solid. So hopefully we dodged a bullet there, because anytime you see him, I believe it's the left, yeah.
A lot of baseball people were divided on whether it's time to have the DH in both leagues. Did you have a stance on this as a National League guy? Did you feel different now? What's your take on that? It'll probably be talked about now because of this.
Right. As I sit here now, yeah, I'd love the DH everywhere. I'd be in on that, especially with our team and, just how our roster's built and how our team's built. Yeah, I'd love it all the time.
Aaron, how do you manage that? I mean, because that was an important run, obviously, that he scored, but it was going to be a close play, and it's a pitcher. Is there any hesitancy to send him when it's going to be close, even though the run's a big deal?
No, I think look, Phil and Masa, you take who the person is into account on any play, but at the end of the day, you're kind of banking on the guy running and his speed and the strength of the arm and the, how many outs. All those things go into the pie, but I don't think you can play it to, if we got him out there in the top of the sixth inning, you're not playing it to, not get hurt. Obviously, you're a little more conservative because, we're not going to have our pitchers stealing and, necessarily things like that. But as far as him being out there, no, we know the speed and the situation, and you play accordingly.
Roger to the left.
Aaron, when you were in here before the game, you were sort of describing the way that the team works when the opposing pitcher is doing a great job, to finally break through. Did it seem to you like it was going to require that sort of a thing, the way that DeGrom was going in the early innings? Yeah, DeGrom was great, and he was so pitch efficient. He kind of forced us into some quick outs because he's not a guy that obviously you want to get behind in the count, yet he's attacking the strike zone so well. So he had a lot of easy innings compared to what we're used to. Usually we even make it a lot harder. What I liked is our guys kind of had game plans, had their individual game plans, things they were looking for, and eventually it paid off for us.
To the right.
Besides from the hamstring issue, how was Tanaka's pitching overall today?
He was great. I don't know how many strikeouts he ended up with, but, after the leadoff homer, He was dialed in. I thought his splitter was really, really strong tonight, and he was cruising. I mean, he was really dealing there for a while. What did he end up strikeout-wise? 8 in 5 innings. So, I think us, down a run there in the 6th inning and him going up and hitting, I think speaks to the kind of outing he was having. So we had no plans to remove him. I felt like he had potentially a couple more innings in him. So, as far as throwing the ball went, a really encouraging, strong start for Masa.
Aaron, I know he's going to be evaluated tomorrow, but in your mind, is there any way he makes his next start?
Masa? Yeah, I don't. No, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I could see it being either way. I mean, I do think it's truly in the we're not quite sure, heat of the moment. Because if it's cramping and that kind of thing, then maybe you dodge a bullet there. But we could look at it tomorrow, and it could be more severe. So, honestly, I'd be speculating, but I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Roger.
I know it probably wasn't Gardner who you imagined, doing the business here, but this Torres in the 9th spot, did it basically work out exactly? I mean, he got a couple of hits off of DeGrom.
Yeah, I mean, he was. Glaber played a big role in it, kind of quietly tonight, right at the bottom. I mean that's part of, how I feel like our lineup sets up, and him kind of in front of Gardy. You get 2 quality hitters in front of Judgy and then the middle of our lineup. And Glaber tonight again had a big hand in it offensively, and I mean, in a way, I guess it did kind of play out how you would hope. Lineup wise, but that that can be a little bit hit or miss too. You could you're going to have that situation maybe where the pitcher in the 8th spot comes up in a key spot early, and it's going to look like it didn't work out. But I feel good about the reason we do it, and because of our personnel, I think it sets up for it.
Last one in the middle.
After a rough outing or 2 early on in the season, Jonathan Holder's really been strong for you guys. Is there anything different you've noticed about him in recent weeks?
I think he's always a guy that pounds the strike zone. So, and I just think with his breaking ball, I think it's just gotten way more consistent, way more of a put-away pitch for him if he needs it. And he's been really, really good for us. And he's earned himself a much more significant role in our pen just by how he's pitched over time. And he's a guy that, we count on and aren't afraid to put out there in a higher leverage situation now. And it's because of his ability to pound the strike zone and command his breaking ball, too.